fellow dreamers, it's me, Lucky the Catsy, and today I'll be showing you how I edit my eyes. First, you will be needing to add a layer of the character's eyes you want to edit. I'll be showing you now how you can do this. Press on the camera icon. Select the layer you want to edit. Add a layer by pressing the plus sign. Now you're ready to edit the eyes. If your character's eyes has these white highlights, you will need to remove them because they can get in the way sometimes while editing. You can do this by holding the color like I show and then using it to remove the highlights. I highly suggest this because sometimes you also want to add your own highlights and then you don't need to remove them at the end. I also suggest this because at the end you don't want to unselect all the layers, remove the highlights, and then reselect all the layers, which in the end is just a huge time waste. And yeah, I again suggest doing it at the beginning instead of the end. There, all finished. Now you can start editing the eyes. So I don't know why I added there a layer, but you don't need to do that if you already have another layer. Select the magic tool and select the eyes, and only the eyes. I'm not including the lashes right now. You'll see later why. Select one of the layers. Now you need to start by using the darkest color and drawing a line up to the middle, like so shown. Now make it a little lighter, where here I made a little mistake I made it too light. You'll see why it shouldn't be too light, but still light enough. About that color should be fitting for this. Now make it a tick darker, but not as too dark, and make it a line between those two colors to make it look like this. Select add and lower the opacity because if you don't, it really looks eye-burning, I'd say the least. At least that's my opinion. Now add another layer and do like 2 half circles with a very dark color and use add for it. And it's really easy if you just unselect the last layer and then do the circles like I did there, but you can obviously still have the last layer shown. Now that you're done with that, add another layer and use multiply. Now use the same color or a different color and do another half circle, a bigger one, but only on the upper side like I show here. Now drag the layer lower and lower the opacity because you don't want to have a dark mess. Add another layer, and now I'll just lower the opacity, so ignore that part. I'll now use that layer and use a very thin brush, by the way. Use a very light color, you want to see that line, and do a half circle without coloring that circle, like I show here. Now use multiply, or add. What am I doing today? I do a little mess here, so just ignore that part. I didn't do that, no. Again, use a very light color. You wanna see that, Iris? You wanna see that. Now use a brush like pointillismus, sorry if I said that wrong, and just overlay it like that. I use a different pencil for this, but I don't really know what it is called. Here it's just called /Tysm. It's pretty much this one, but you can obviously use a different brush if you want. Remove the parts where it's not on the gacha part, like so. This is due because you will now see I will use add to make it a little shiny. If your character has another like highlight thing, but it's too big to remove, like these little hearts, you may not see it now, but these really weird hearts, I suggest now drawing them again. If you haven't removed them like I did here, use a darker color for this yet. Use a normal brush. And then just draw it like I did here. Then you will now add, you will use add, duplicate the layer, and then easily just use the smudge tool to then just make one of the layers shine. Now this part is optional. You can add another layer and draw the iris yourself if you want, of course. Use that layer and take it down a little bit because it really it makes it look better, in my opinion. Boom, you're done with the eyes. Now let's go on and do the lashes. First, select the lashes with the magic tool. Then, use a lighter color and use airbrush to color the middle of the lashes to the end. Not fully, but halfway, like they're shown. Oh, also, this is just how I shade my lashes. You do not need to do this that way. Now add another layer. Use white and just scroll down until you found the hearts, the stars, or any other shape and form. Wait, I'm scrolling. Like these. I usually use hearts and stars, but for this one I use a different one. And just make the brush small to add them one by one. Don't smear it, just press once like I do here to make it look like this. You can use add, but I usually don't because it doesn't really look other. Anyways, add another layer and color your eyebrows white. Now use a very small eraser and softly just erase the edges like you're shown. I suggest trying your best to not make it too thick like I do here accidentally. I'm very sorry, I never do tutorials, I'm really bad at them. But do it like this. I redo them, don't worry. But they should at the end look something similar to this. So yeah, here's me redoing this. Again, it's hard sometimes, so be careful. You can do it. I believe in you. You're a wonderful human being, and I know you can do this. Now just lower the opacity to whatever opacity you like, and boom, you're finished with your eye. And wow, I'm so proud of you. And even if you don't have an eye looking like this right now, that is totally fine, because, well, you need to find your own style. And I hope you can use this tutorial just to help you find your own style and not just copy my style, because that's not going to get you any better. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, my fellow dreamers.